Welcome back to the Beyond the Gates 2025 channel, where secrets never stay buried and every smile hides a storm. In today's video, we dive into the chaos-consuming Fairmont Crest, where Dani's fury ignites a war she can no longer control, Naomi's reputation crumbles under a scandalous betrayal, and Chelsea uncovers a recording that could destroy them all. As alliances fracture and old ghosts return, every move becomes a dangerous gamble. Who is truly pulling the strings behind the Dupree empire? And when the gates finally close, who will be left standing and who will be buried beneath the lies? Stay tuned, because what's coming next will change Beyond the Gates forever. Dani's anger is no longer a fleeting outburst but a blaze burning inside her. After discovering that Joey hid a secret tied to the incident at Fairmont Crest, every ounce of trust she'd given him shattered in an instant. Dani had always tried to keep herself composed, but now she is pushed into a spiral of betrayal, where hurt and wounded pride harden into a demand for reckoning. She wonders whether Joey betrayed her for power, for love, or for a deeper scheme he was carrying out. Every memory of him has become a weapon, every glance a piece of evidence that tightens her chest. Dani is not only furious with Joey, she is furious with herself for being drawn into that web of lies, for trusting someone she thought was building a future alongside her. Standing before the mirror, the cold gaze staring back reflects someone new, a Dani ready to answer with calculation and strategy, not emotion. While Dani swallows her rage to plan a counterstrike, Naomi is caught in a different maelstrom, the intoxication of guilt and fear. The lavish party at Fairmont Crest should have been a stage for her status and power, but the alcohol smashed the wall of restraint she had spent years constructing. Under the lights and the curious stares of the community, Naomi let slip confessions that should never have been spoken about: under-the-table dealings, money moved in secret, and long-buried feelings. When the party ended, the whispers spread like a poisonous wind, and Naomi woke in panic, unsure who had heard what. She can no longer tell friend from foe. Those who once surrounded her now look with suspicion. She feels everything collapsing, and a primal fear rises within, that someone is exploiting her weakness to drag her down, that the drunkenness was no accident but part of a carefully staged plan to destroy her reputation. Chelsea, who seemed to stand outside the war, is drawn in quietly and dangerously. When she decides to help Madison survive a family shock, she does not realize she is stepping into a minefield. Madison is facing a cruel truth: Ted, the man she regarded as a benefactor, is in fact the biological father she never knew. Chelsea feels compassion, yet the act of intervening turns her into a threat to those desperate to bury the past. Every move she makes is now watched. From strange calls and anonymous messages to gentle warnings from people she thought were friends, Chelsea begins to understand that kindness can be a double-edged blade. She wants to save Madison, but is she saving the right person? Or is Madison herself concealing a darker piece of the story, one that could cost Chelsea everything? As Dani lays out a plan to expose Joey, Naomi works to contain the fallout from her drunken night, and Chelsea tries to pull Madison back from the edge. The ground at Fairmont Crest starts to tremble. Secrets that once seemed separate now intersect at dangerous crossroads. Joey does not seem to be acting alone. Someone is working the strings from behind the scenes, someone powerful enough to topple Dani, unmoor Naomi, and lead Chelsea astray. The three women, each for her own reasons, are closing in on the same core. A network of power and betrayal built over years, where everyone has something to hide. Dani knows Joey still holds back a crucial piece of evidence. Naomi suspects her husband is entwined in the financial scandal, and Chelsea uncovers an old recording that could rewrite everything. But can they trust one another, or will fear and resentment drive them apart? Joey, the man encircled by secrets, feels pressure closing in from every side. Dani seeks vengeance, Naomi seeks redemption, Chelsea seeks justice, and Madison is slowly waking from her family illusion. He has become the focus of every suspicion, yet he may be the only one who truly knows who was pulling the levers at Fairmont Crest. Some nights he sits in the dark, the lake behind the villa reflecting the moon, wondering whether he can escape the game he helped create. He understands that when the truth comes out, it could destroy more than reputations, it could cost lives. And what he fears most is not exposure, but losing Dani, the woman he still loves despite betraying her. After the drunken night, Naomi begins piecing together a hazy memory of the person who handed her the glass. A familiar gaze, a counterfeit smile, and then she realizes, it wasn't a stranger. She starts to suspect that someone within the Dupree family orchestrated the humiliation to strip her of credibility. As she quietly gathers evidence, another door opens, revealing a chain of transactions involving people who seemed uninvolved. Could it be Anita, the woman who once lifted her up, standing behind the entire plan to shield the Dupree name? The question robs Naomi of sleep, and every step feels like treading on a mine. Driven by rage, Dani begins to act recklessly. She taps every connection and every secret she has ever heard to build a counteroffensive. But revenge never runs in one direction. Knowing Dani will not stop, Joey strikes first. He leaks information that could tarnish her credibility. Only to find that Dani had already anticipated the move. Their duel is no longer about love but about survival between two people who once believed they belonged together. And when Chelsea stumbles upon documents proving that both of them are being manipulated by the same hidden force, she realizes she is holding the key to a coming storm. Fairmont Crest, once a symbol of elegance, has become a battlefield of wounded souls. Dani is scorched by hatred, Naomi not by guilt, Chelsea trapped between good and evil, and Joey stands on the brink of losing everything. Each decision they make peels back another layer of the conspiracy, clouding the path forward. Can the truth save them, or will the truth be what destroys them? In a world where loyalty is a mask and love a tool, who will be left standing when every last gate is closed? The chaos at Fairmont Crest has broken free of rumor and become a real storm, sweeping up anyone bold enough to stand against it. Guided by fury, Dani begins to realize that her actions have set off a chain reaction she can no longer control. She once believed that avenging herself on Joey would restore the dignity and power she had lost, but the deeper she goes, the more she feels she is falling into a trap laid by someone else. The documents she has gathered on shady investments tied to Joey, Naomi, and the Dupree enterprise only make everything more tangled. She starts to suspect she is not battling a single unfaithful man but fighting an underground network capable of manipulating everyone around her. People who once sided with her now slip away quietly, phone calls go unanswered, and every glance at the parties carries judgment. Dani feels isolated, yet that fear only steals her resolve, because now the downfall of others seems like the only path left for her to survive. Meanwhile, Naomi becomes the center of public scrutiny after a humiliating drunken night. Local media begin leaking clips and words she doesn't even remember saying. Those images are spliced and skewed to make her look deceitful and dangerous. The reputation she built over years among the wealthy is crumbling piece by piece, and what hurts most is that familiar faces helped spread it. She realizes someone is pushing her out of the game and, as she traces the flow of information backward, every trail points to the same person, Joey. But is he truly the mastermind, or just another pawn being moved? Naomi can no longer tell, because she has grown too accustomed to how everything at Fairmont Crest is counterfeit, praise is a mask, smiles are knives. In a moment of desperation, she understands there is only one way to survive: she must become more ruthless than anyone who has ever hurt her. Chelsea, who seemed like a mere bystander, now becomes the linchpin of the entire game. Her discovery of an old audio file on Madison's phone is no accident. The recording reveals a conversation between Ted and a hidden man, speaking about a deal to keep the Dupree family quiet and Naomi's silence. Chelsea is horrified to realize she holds a secret that could blow Fairmont Crest apart. She wants to hand it to Madison, but Madison appears frightened by what she hears. Instead of gratitude, she dodges, begs Chelsea to forget it, then vanishes for days. That is when Chelsea starts asking herself, is Madison a victim, or also a player in this power match? Compassion turns to suspicion, kindness becomes a burden, and Chelsea realizes she is being watched, through emails, through her car, even through unfamiliar eyes at the grocery store. Joey, once certain he held control, is now devoured by his past. He cannot escape Dani's judgment, cannot shield Naomi, and is sucked into new danger once he learns Chelsea possesses that damning recording. He had thought he could manipulate others with charm and talent, but he never expected those he deceived to converge with a single aim: to destroy him. He begins to lose sleep, haunted by anonymous calls and shadows drifting around his home. One night, he receives an envelope with photos of himself speaking to a man he doesn't recognize. The words on the back chill him: "We know what you told Ted." Joey understands the game has spun beyond his control. Now he is fighting not only Dani but the force behind the Dupree conglomerate, people willing to erase anyone who knows too much. In her bid to reclaim power, Naomi quietly forges alliances with former enemies. She meets those once expelled from the Dupree board, people with every reason to want revenge. They confer in the dark, exchange evidence, and plot to bring Fairmont Crest to its knees. Yet amid promises and deals, Naomi feels herself becoming someone else, cold, calculating, and alone. She no longer knows where justice ends and vengeance begins. Each time she looks in the mirror, she sees Dani reflected in her, as if both of them are being swallowed by the same darkness they once despised. At the same time, Dani uncovers something that upends everything, a part of Joey's secret that has nothing to do with money or romance, but an operation designed to protect her from a force hunting her. Joey betrayed her, but he also once saved her from a staged accident. The truth shakes Dani to the core. Everything she believed, every act of revenge, every accusation, may have been built on a misunderstanding. But when she tries to reach him, Joey is gone. The trail leads to an abandoned flat in Uptown, where the walls are covered with photos of every player in this game: Dani, Naomi, Chelsea, Madison, Ted, and Anita Dupree herself. Someone has been watching them for months, cataloging every step, relationship, and choice. Dani stands frozen, a chill running down her spine. Someone is still pulling the strings, and Joey is only the first pawn in a far larger plan. At the same moment, Chelsea receives an anonymous note with a single sentence: "Don't trust Madison." She feels her blood turn to ice. Everything she has done for her friend may have been an unwitting contribution to someone else's scheme. When she goes to the Dupree estate where Madison once lived, the house is sealed, and police are investigating a missing person. No one knows where Madison has gone, but on her desk in that room lies a single photo of Naomi, Dani, and Joey at the same party years ago, a time when none of them knew they would become enemies. The picture makes Chelsea realize that everything unfolding now began in the past, with a mistake that was never confessed. Fairmont Crest now resembles a chessboard entering its endgame. Dani hunts for truth to save herself, Naomi prepares to unleash a final counterstrike, Chelsea is swept into the search for Madison, and Joey has vanished as if he never existed. Yet in the shadows, the true architects have not revealed themselves. Does Dani have the courage to face the possibility that she too has been part of the plot? Can Naomi find redemption after everything she has done? And can Chelsea live long enough to expose a secret so many are willing to kill to keep? When the last gates of Fairmont Crest finally close, the fight will no longer be about right and wrong, but about who survives, and who is buried beneath the ashes of deceit. And as the shadows stretch long over Fairmont Crest, one thing becomes painfully clear: no one is innocent, and no one is safe. Dani's thirst for justice has turned into a firestorm that consumes everything in its path, leaving her standing alone amid the ashes of her own choices. Naomi, once the elegant queen of control, now walks the razor's edge between redemption and ruin, haunted by the ghosts of those she used to manipulate. And Chelsea, the unexpected witness to it all, finds herself in possession of a truth so devastating that even speaking it aloud could destroy lives. The mansion lights still glitter across the hills, but behind those gilded walls, the power struggles have become more vicious than ever. The Dupree legacy, once untouchable, is cracking under the weight of secrets too heavy to contain. The echoes of betrayal travel through every corner of Fairmont Crest, a whispered reminder that every alliance comes at a cost. Who is the true puppet master in this elaborate game? Is it the shadowy figure who orchestrated the chaos from behind closed doors, or have the players themselves become the architects of their own downfall? Dani may think she can fight her way to freedom, Naomi may believe she can rewrite her story, and Chelsea may dream of exposing the truth, but in a world built on lies, justice is never pure, and survival never clean. As we close this chapter, one haunting question remains: when the truth finally emerges, will it bring liberation or destruction? The battle lines are drawn, the stakes higher than ever, and the game has only just begun. Because at Fairmont Crest, every secret demands a sacrifice, and before the storm ends, someone will pay the ultimate price. Thank you for watching and joining us through another twisted journey behind Beyond the Gates 2025. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay tuned, because the next revelation could change everything. The gates may close for now, but the darkness within them is only growing deeper.